feels like work. Shooting the shit for 2 hours, drinking beer and talking beer. What a wonderful experience.
Can we not have the barf bucket near my mixing board?
I think everybody could read the book.
I knew you were going to use this book as an excuse to quit doing this show.
Mrs. Bub, if you want, I can mail you the Bub Timer.
Yeah, Newcastle, especially in the can. Have you ever had it in the can?
No, I have not had it in the can.
Notice I closed my eyes and I concentrated really hard.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Brewcast, broadcasting live from the Slow Food / Slow Beer Festival. I guess this year it's officially the Slow Beer Festival right here in San Francisco, put together with Slow Food USA and the San Francisco Brewers Guild. It's really an amazing festival that we've had the privilege to broadcast live from here today, and we're going to try to get the whole story about slow food and slow beer and this event out for you. For those of you that can't make it, it is the, Dave, maybe you can help me out with this too. This is the second annual, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
It's kind of the first time it's been slow beer.
Right, last year we called it Beer and Bites.
Oh, okay, Beer and Bites last year. And really what's happened is craft beer, and certainly local craft beer here in the Bay Area, has combined with the slow food movement, which has been building here for years also. And we've also got with us right now Carmen Tedesco, who is the regional governor of Slow Food USA, so he works with slow food in the Bay Area. And then, of course, my ever-trusty co-host, Jason Petros. JP.
That's true.
It's kind of a hippie deal for you, JP. I'm surprised you made it out here.
I'm a little nervous, but no patchouli.
Yeah,
and
so you're okay?
I'm good, yeah.
I won't talk about global warming if you promise not to insult Al Gore.
We'll work on it. We'll work on it. After the break, we'll see what happens.
Get the whole thing. Well, let's find out first. Slow food is something that I think has been around for maybe longer than people recognize the term slow food. So, Carmen, I'm wondering if you can help us describe exactly what does it mean when we're talking about slow food.
Okay, thank you, Justin. Slow food is a social movement which started in Italy about 20 years ago by Carlo Petrini, and the premise is for sustainable agriculture and having dinners and conviviality with people and having conversation around the dinner table.
Okay.
It's been here in the States for about 8 or 9 years, and it's growing rapidly. And this year, at Labor Day, we're going to be having the Slow Food Nation right here in Fort Mason and at the Civic Center. And it's going to be a 4-day conference.
Wonderful.
It'll be our first event here in the United States as a major slow food event.
So at the risk of being, Captain Obvious over here, it is really kind of this opposite to fast food, this sort of eat in our car, eat on the run, food that's hardly ever touched by a human. It's kind of the opposite of that.
Well, that's exactly right. Exactly right. Back in '86, in January of 1986, McDonald's opened their first, quote, restaurant at the base of the Spanish Steps in Rome. And at that event, Carlo Petrini said, "This is war."
Really?
And we're going to fight it with good food.
Fantastic.
And so exactly right, the opposite of fast food, and that's where slow food had come from.
Carmen and I are going to be good friends, I can tell already. I really like his choice of words and, quote, restaurant. This is fantastic. We are on the same page. My brother, a chef himself, really kind of got into this movement on the East Coast and taught me a little bit about it. And I'm just discovering, along with our listeners, I think, what slow food means. So it's fantastic to see out here we have, can you tell me how many different local food producers we have at the event today? I think I counted at least 3 or 4, maybe even more than that.
Actually, there's about a dozen.
Is there really?
There's about a dozen that are here today.
Okay.
Amongst Hog Island with their local oysters and Fatted Calf with their Knockwurster grilling, and of course D. Harley Goat Farms. Massimo Corporale with Massimo Gelato, and also some people that have sponsored us is Acme Bread, Steve Sullivan, and Sue Conley, Cowgirl Creamery, and also pretzels. We got some organic pretzels made by Dieter from Oktoberfest. And they're really something.
When you know a pretzel's made by a man called Dieter, those are true.
That's a real
sign.
pretzel.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, these are all people that have donated food for the event, also, right?
Yes. They've supported us, and also from Ani Salumi over in Berkeley. So we've had a nice representation.
Okay.
Of the local food artisan producers.
Now, Dave. How does slow food relate to the craft beer movement, and do you call it slow beer on a daily basis?
I think that's a phrase that we may have coined for this event.
Okay.
But I think that it totally encapsulates what it is that the local craft beer, or the whole national craft beer movement is all about. I think it's a natural fit between slow food, the slow food movement, and the modern craft beer movement in this country. It's just the same ideals, which is artisanship, carefully sourcing of ingredients, a lot of love and craft and passion poured into a product, whether it's beer, or bread, or sausage, or wine.
Yeah.
It's just sort of the values that we share with the slow food movement are identical, I think, in many ways, and it's just it just seems to feel like something where we all work really well together.
It does fit. I can't. So many people asked me this week when I was telling them that we're broadcasting from here and we're going to be at the Slow Beer Festival. They asked me what slow beer was, and really to describe it kind of exactly like you're saying, I just said, well, I don't think that craft brewers thought of themselves as slow beer brewers, but in the end, it's really the same kind of thing. They're generally locally produced, handmade in small batches. A lot of you are sourcing your ingredients as local as possible as brewers, and really just kind of this hands-on approach to producing something that people put in their bodies.
Yeah, I think the thing that people, that was so troubling for the folks that were involved in slow food in the beginning with the McDonald's and what that meant for the culture, the food culture in Italy. That's the same thing that a lot of the home brewers that have become craft brewers have rebelled against the mass-produced, mass-marketed big beers in general. And so we share a lot of that same kind of fight. The little guy versus David versus Goliath, basically.
It really is. It's fantastic to see it here kind of joined together. Carmen, did you? How long have you been involved with the Slow Food organization?
8 years.
With 8 years.
8 years I've been involved with it. I started in Santa Cruz. I started the Slow Food Santa Cruz Convivium, and then moved up here 5 years ago and working with Lorenzo Scarponi, who started Slow Food San Francisco 12 years ago, and it was the first convivium in the United States. And today we are the largest convivium in the U.S.
Well, of course, the guy who headed up his name is Lorenzo Scarponi. You don't mess with a Scarponi.
No,
it's going to be the largest organization of whatever it is, and you don't mess with it.
No, and it will never be broken. Yeah. Nor will it ever go to jail.
I would love it if my radio name were Lorenzo Scarponi.
It can be.
I think I should change it from here forth. Yeah. Well, I think that what you're seeing here is kind of this culmination of two industries. Did you expect to, maybe 8 years ago when you got involved, that you guys would find yourselves with beer makers in the same room and kind of on the same page?
That's right. Primarily, Slow Food is involved with winemakers. And we have fabulous wine events and wine tasting. And actually, this is the start of Slow Food in Italy. Carlo Petrini was very much involved with the Piemonte winemakers. But it's great to have the beer makers as well. They're doing a great job using local ingredients. And also, I know Dave gets some of his hops from the UK, which are really organically grown and just top of the line stuff. So Slow Food's a combination of not only just local, but the best.
Yeah.
And what we're finding out, like in Italy, a lot of these sausage makers and salumi makers, they're in their 60s now, and the cheese makers. And who's going to be passing on this heritage? Who are they going to pass it on to? So that's why Slow Food's kind of taking it on to make these very artisan, specially made things aware to everyone, so there's demand. So the children say, hey, I want to continue this, and it's a viable business. So that's one of the ideas of Slow Food, to really build a demand for artisan and good food.
That's an excellent point. JP actually and I were talking about, kind of a good local butcher is something that has gone by the wayside. You don't find that anymore.
A charcuterist?
A charcuterist.
Ooh.
A charcuterie.
Yeah.
Very nice, JP.
Thank you very much.
I'll tell you, you're never going to be able to go back to your communist ways after this program.
What do you mean?
You're really showing your true colors.
Yeah, well,
But you're right. These are things that have been around for generations, and who does take them over? And I think that promoting this and also expose. There's a lot of young people in the room today, and I'm almost surprised to see as many young people as there are. Mm-hmm. It's fantastic to see them getting into the artisan products that are being made here, and I think that's going to help keep it alive. So you guys are doing a good job to promote in general.
Absolutely. At our wine tasting events, that's primarily an older crowd. And at our cheese tastings and things like that, you tend to see it's an older crowd with Slow Food. So it's really wonderful to see a 30-something crowd here at the Slow Beer Fest.
Hey, you put some beer in there, forget it. The whole college will show up over here.
Yeah, right.
And they have people like Dave to work with, and the San Francisco Brewers Guild. It's just a great organization of grassroots, salt-of-the-earth people.
Dave, you, since I've met you, have kind of been involved in locally grown and sustainable agriculture, and you have a fantastic restaurant over at Magnolia. You've since opened the Alembic. So this is something, this combination has been a passion of yours for years anyway.
Yeah, well, I've been a Slow Food member for years, too, and I think that, honestly, I'm honored to participate at this level with the Slow Food San Francisco and, through the Brewers Guild, because it's something that has been, it started as a personal interest for me before it became a professional one, as a, subscriber to, or a member of Slow Food, and I used to read the Slow magazine that comes out, which, a lot of these things really took root in me and made it a cause of mine that I believe strongly in, just on a personal level first, and that's why I feel so natural to kind of continue it in my work life and work my restaurants and the beer that we make into this kind of program. It's definitely something I feel a lot of passion for, and have it's been something that's been simmering for years.
This is even before Magnolia you're talking about.
Well, I don't know if I knew about Slow Food before Magnolia, but in the early days, we when Magnolia opened, we had a philosophy then of trying to do really pub food that was where the sourcing of the ingredients on the food side matched the way we kind of looked at our beer program.
Yeah.
And so we tried from the beginning, but it was a little crude, and I was 26 years old and searching for information, and so there was a learning process along the way that led me to Slow Food, and there was some a couple of light bulb moments of enlightenment there where there were some great ideas that it just connected all the dots for me in terms of what it's all about or could be all about.
Yeah. And it's a great story about Dave and Magnolia, and actually his brewery underneath the restaurant on Haight Street.
I think it's creepy.
But what I want to say is I made a video of as Dave had taken me on a tour. I made a nice video of that, and you can see that tour on slowtube.org.
Okay.
So if you go there, absolutely.
There's got to be a tube for everything now. I love it, Carmen.
Yeah,
you can find this. That's actually great. A tour of Magnolia. Our listeners have been listening to Dave for a couple of years now, so you should have told us sooner, Dave, that we can go actually see your creepy basement brewery on slowtube.org.
I made sure it was clean that day.
That's good. Well, why don't we make sure we get all that information out? So where can people find out more about Slow Food in general?
Well, we could go to the main website, which is slowfood.com.
Okay.
And if you're in the Bay Area, we have slowfoodnorcal.com, and you'll see all the local events in the Bay Area. So that would be a good spot for that. And then for San Francisco itself, we have slowfoodsanfrancisco, one word.com, and that'll have everything specific to the San Francisco Convivium.
Okay. And then, Dave, the Guild's becoming more and more organized every year. I see you guys doing a lot of good things.
We try.
Yeah. You guys really are doing a good job. Since the day I first heard about you was probably 8 days after the Guild became a guild. But you guys have really kind of come together and done good things here.
Yeah, we've developed a good working relationship with each other where, it's a volunteer organization where we, like so many entities like Slow Food too to some degree, and, it's very, we try to put as much time and energy into it as we can, but we're all really motivated by the idea of working together. We can help sort of broaden the awareness of the whole craft beer movement, and so we see that as a worthy mission to take on, and it's worth all the effort.
sfbrewersguild.com. You can go to find out. And you guys put up the upcoming events. This has been on the website, so you could have found out about it there. Sold out today, which congratulations. Really, that's a great deal.
Yeah, thanks.
That's what, 400 tickets or something?
Yeah, that's right.
400 attendance today,
and last year we sold out at 150 tickets.
Right. Let's keep it going up.
So, we like that trajectory of sales.
That's what, quadruple, JP?
It's more than double. At least double. At least double.
It's a lot.
Is there anything else on slowtube.com, like cheerleaders cutting artisan bread or something?
Right, absolutely.
Look at the crust on this.
And actually,
the crumb is amazing.
Yeah.
And actually, there is a movement called slow sex.
Is there really?
Absolutely.
I've heard of that.
And it's
like tantric.
Dave's heard of it. Yeah. I've never practiced it. I've certainly heard of that.
I think it's an impossibility.
I read about it in a book.
Yeah, it's an impossibility nowadays.
That's on Mythbusters, I'm pretty sure.
And it is a movement, and it is centered in the same town in Italy as Slow Food is.
Is it really?
Yeah.
What is the premise behind it? You don't know. I will go find out. Listeners, I promise you to come back with a full report
on slow sex.
You'll get to the bottom of it.
I like how the country that gave us the Lamborghini gives us slow food and slow sex.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you very much for being on the program. And I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to be talking to a lot of the food producers that you've brought here today to find out about what it is exactly that they're doing and what the difference is. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm going to say right now that just going around and tasting some of the food before the broadcast,
oh man,
the difference is unreal.
It is.
It really, it'll. If you've never had handmade, locally made, to me, I consider this like it's really a form of soul food. It's people putting love into food.
Right, yeah.
Compared to the stuff that you're getting at the Safeway or the Alpha Beta or wherever it is that you're going, it's really, the difference is remarkable.
It is. I had some of that knockwurst from the charcuterie, and it was amazing. Yeah. It was the flavors weren't just buried under preservatives or whatever. Right. I mean, seriously, and it sounds really kind of weird and bandwagonish to say, and it's maybe it's a marketing thing. It is not.
It's good stuff.
That was really, really fresh. The flavors were just right in your face, and
the hot dog rolls. I mean, these are specially made by Steve Sullivan and Acme Bread.
Yeah,
and they're just fabulous.
What a difference!
Oh man,
it's
I'm into it. I'm into it.
It's amazing because it's across the board. All this stuff is equally as good. We're talking about, this is a beer listenership primarily, your radio show, and
sure.
But just everywhere you choose to shine the spotlight, whether it's the bread or whether it's the cheese or the charcuterie, everybody's doing something the same way, which is pouring all of their love and passion into their craft and the art of doing it, and that food, all the food out here, the knockwurst and everything is as different from mainstream store-bought stuff as our beer is. Everybody here knows how different this beer is from mainstream beer.
Yeah.
And it's true across the board with the food side as well, and that's what it's all about,
And that's like the salami that we have here today from Formani. And Formani means from my hands. In Italian.
It's exactly what it should be, too.
Yeah.
Then the perfect comparison, too, Dave, between we do know the difference between the mass-produced beer and the small batch beer. Yeah. And you're right, the food difference is just as unique, if not more.
Well, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I mean, most of the people, we are primarily a beer show, but a lot of the same guys who homebrew also are, home chefs. Sure. And they do this stuff. They source this stuff out, too. And the links are great. The parallel, it's amazing.
Yeah. Al Gore is going to spoon you tonight, JP.
I hope so, because I have a few questions about his jet.
All right.
His carbon footprint.
Yeah. That jerk.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to interview some of these food producers. We're going to find out, we're going to dig into the slow food movement along with the slow beer. We got a lot of brewers here to talk to, too. So stick with us. We'll be back in just a few.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Well, beer, we've had some great times. When I was 17, I drank some very good beer. I drank some very good beer. I purchased with a thing I need. My name was Brian McKee. I stayed up listening to Queen when I was 17.
Did you know that you can not only order from More Beer online at morebeer.com and receive free shipping on most orders over $59, but you can also shop in person at their 2 retail locations located in Concord and Riverside, California. In fact, the Concord facility has grown to over 15,000 square feet to fit all the new products, expanded showroom, and new Knowledge Center classroom. And now, in conjunction with the Brewing Network, More Beer is making it easier than ever to keep up on what's happening. Download the More Beer monthly podcast by clicking podcast at morebeer.com. You'll learn about More Beer's history, sales and discounts on More Beer products, get to know team members, and hear ways to save you money. They're also launching a brand new website soon with more features and a better online shopping experience. So go to morebeer.com or call 800-600-0033. That's 800-600-0033.
Hi, I'm Sean O'Sullivan, the brewmaster and co-founder of the 21st Amendment Brewery and Restaurant in San Francisco. 6 years ago, Nico Freccia and I opened the 21st Amendment on 2nd Street with the intent of bringing back the local neighborhood brew pub. Well, the neighborhood has really changed over the years, but the 21st Amendment still remains a great place for people to meet over a terrific meal and a tasty pint of beer. In the past, the only way you could enjoy the 21st Amendment's handcrafted beers was at the brew pub. Well, all that has changed. Now, the 21st Amendment beers are available in cans. That's right, cans. When was the last time you had a great beer in a can? Well, that day has come. We're offering our world-famous Watermelon Wheat and 21A IPA in cans. Cans are a better package than glass because cans keep the beer fresher longer, but you can also take cans to places where bottles can't go, like the beach, lake, golf courses, and sporting events. So join us in the revolution to take back the can from the big breweries and crack open a cold 21A craft beer in a can. The 21st Amendment, 563 2nd Street in San Francisco, just 2 blocks from Giants Park.
You're listening to the Brewing Network. Because like beer, radio shouldn't suck.
All right, welcome back to the program, everybody. Broadcasting live from the Slow Beer Festival. It's a slow food and slow beer combined right here in San Francisco in sunny Golden Gate Park today, which is
it's a beautiful day.
Fascinating that it's sunny today and nice. You know, you never know in San Francisco. It could be ugly.
That's true.
But this thing, so we got a whole room here which is just full of craft brewers from the Brewers Guild and beyond. And you've also got a lot of the different local food places. And outside, you've got even more food. So, yeah, we can keep it up now, Bob. I was actually asked to turn it up. So until someone complains about my voice annoying them, then we'll just keep it up. You know?
Bob, I'd like to complain about his voice annoying me, please, officially.
Aside from JP. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it. Bob Coleman, local beer aficionado. This guy has so many titles, it's unbelievable. But he was the host of the beer panel we did at the Commonwealth Club.
Cool.
Of which I was the star.
I was going to say left out of an article.
I left out of the article.
Yeah, okay.
No, I wasn't the star. I was more of the buffoon, as I'm often portrayed. Oh, dance like a clown for us, Justin. Make us laugh, you know. Just like Sully. Go ahead, Sully. Give it a shot.
Can you do that right now? Dance like a clown?
I like Sully's glasses. He has these old man glasses on now.
Old man.
I didn't mean that.
Sully, where's your new headphones?
I brought them because I'm a professional now, but I thought that they were here and I was running late, so.
Okay.
All
right. Well, as usual, producer Shat's not doing his job, so we're going to fill a little bit of time here and talk about what's happening at this Slow Beer Festival. Not only a bunch of fantastic beers, and by the way, I had a little trouble even making it past the beatification from Russian River.
I'm having a lot of trouble.
I went back like 4 times before I ever tried another beer.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm kind of a Russian River whore.
It's easy. They're sitting right next to us.
It's right there, but it's also amazing.
Oh,
you know what? The second beer I had, Sully,
What's that?
Give you a little ego boost here.
Help, please.
It was that
North Coast.
It was that diesel that you're pouring over there. Tell us about
the diesel.
Tell me about diesel. What is that?
Diesel Imperial Porter is about 9.7% alcohol. It's got malt in it. And
9.7%
it's pretty high.
alcohol.
It doesn't taste like it. It's an awesome beer.
It's that beer that
Jesse
festivals,
came up with the recipe.
Did he now?
Yeah, he did a great job.
Yours is that beer that at these festivals, the college kids come up, and what do they sound like when they come to your booth?
Yeah. Okay, so this is the difference between this festival and other festivals.
Yeah.
The Slow Food Festival, everybody's got a little bit of decorum about them. They're enjoying themselves.
May I
There's
try
a lot more
this?
women here. It's much more civilized. But typically at a beer festival, it's like, give me your most highest alcohol beer.
I would like the one with the most alcohol, please.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Not here.
And
Today
you're pouring that one today.
We are, but people are respecting it. They're actually interested in what's going on with it, so I like that.
That's fantastic. All right. All right, now we're also here with Nat. Do I have that right? Make sure I got it right here.
Taylor.
Oh, hang on. It's Taylor.
That's all right.
Taylor. Oh, that's right. We got Fatted Calf here.
That's me.
It's.
I'm not good at reading lips yet, Taylor.
I'm doing well. I'll try to enunciate a little bit more clearly.
Yeah. So Taylor from Fatted Calf,
yes.
one of the food producers that's here at the festival today.
That we are.
Tell us about what you are and what you do.
Basically, we are a small artisanal charcuterie company. We make lots of different kinds of things by hand in small batches. And we make it with a lot of love. And we try to participate in as many ways as possible with festivals like this. We recently opened a store up in Napa, the Oxbow Public Market. We do a couple of farmers markets down here in the East Bay and the Ferry Building. We just, we try to, bring the best possible product we can to the people who appreciate it the most.
So give me some examples of the things that you make by hand.
Well, let's see. We make bacon, beef jerky, pancetta, knockwurst, about 40 other different kinds of fresh sausage.
You had me at bacon.
It's the gateway drug for sure. We've got a reputation, deservedly or not, for corrupting vegetarians.
Good for you.
Basically, what we're all about is basically just getting the best raw ingredients we can find, sustainably raised, humanely raised and processed meats. We get all of our produce and everything from local farmers that we know at the farmers markets. We just, we try to do things as traditionally as possible, but with kind of a California culinary progressive sensibility. Local, seasonal produce is very important to us, and we mix it up a lot. And basically what we try to promote is, just thinking about where your food comes from and eating and drinking responsibly and, doing it with love and with a lot of thought and consciousness.
I think that Fatted Calf actually kind of embodies and represents sort of the ethos of what slow food is all about.
Okay.
And it really is about eating locally.
Those are very kind words. Thank you.
I 100% agree with it. It's
Who wrote those for you?
He wants some free bacon.
Yeah. I want free bacon. And you're right. You know what? I got and getting back to goof on that a little bit.
This is Sean O'Sullivan for the charcuterie.
Bacon really is the gateway drug. I've had so many friends of mine who've been like vegetarians, and that's kind of the crossover.
Oh, yeah.
And once they have bacon, they don't go back.
There's nothing a slab of bacon can't fix.
Absolutely not.
But you guys do really embody the whole thing. I mean, it's to see you at these festivals, to see you at this festival, it is what it's all about. I mean, small producers are really taking care. It's like craft brewing with meat.
Yeah, pretty much.
You can use that one, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. I'll make sure you get some credit for that. We'll put it up on the website tomorrow.
I just want some beef jerky.
We can do that too.
Yeah. Taylor, let me play devil's advocate with you for a second. All right?
Tell me.
A lot of our listeners are from all over the country, and I kind of preach this stuff every now and then as much as I can. We're generally a beer show, so I get told to shut up a lot when I start talking about hippie organic things.
I like beer,
and
I'm far from the typical hippie organic guy. So.
Okay, good. So you'll be perfect
Fire away.
to help me out with. Well, I just I want you to explain a little bit about how you guys got into this. What was the impetus to get into it? Is it just this sort of California, we're better, I have a Prius kind of an attitude that gets you into a charcuterie, or does it come from somewhere else?
No, the ethos involved is that people should really care about what they're putting into their bodies and where it's coming from and why they're eating it. This has nothing to do with being liberal or conservative or anything like that. It comes from basically just a motivation of wanting to provide quality food and not ingesting junk thoughtlessly and mindlessly.
Yeah.
basically this is kind of a revolution against big, mindless industrial meat. That one of the things we tell a lot of our customers that there's no such thing as cheap meat. Basically, there are lots of other costs involved when you go to some huge supermarket chain and you buy that styrofoam wrapped piece of waterlogged junk.
Yeah.
There are lots of other costs involved. There are ecological costs. There are social costs. It's actually a much bigger problem than most people realize in this country. And so what we try to do is we try to help the small guy out by taking a good, responsibly raised product and transforming it into something that people feel comfortable taking home and putting on a grill. And the difference is just if
What
I
is
may
the
be so
difference?
bold, the difference basically is responsibly raised, pasture-raised animals not only live much better lives, but they also wind up as much better products. And one of our kind of key mantras is you can't make good products from bad raw products. And so we basically try to get the best raw products. That extends to the herbs and garlic and everything else we buy.
Sure.
But
and I've heard brewers say the same thing, that you can't make good beer from poor.
Totally.
You're kind of like the craft brewer in the meat world.
That's
you're making small batches. You're taking care of the animals. You're actually kind of like the soup to nuts kind of thing in a lot of ways.
We in a lot of ways we consider ourselves stewards, and we're stewards of the ways things have traditionally been done, and different seasonal organic products that not. I mean, this is not just a mantra. I mean, this stuff tastes better too.
No, way
it
better.
makes a huge difference. Things that are made in small batches by somebody who's really paying attention to what's happening instead of just watching it go by on an assembly line. It in my view, and the fact that we've been in business for 5 years really speaks to how much people are really looking for this kind of thing.
They're paying attention.
Absolutely, people are paying attention, and there's. I feel like it's definitely a big thing out here, but I feel like every time I travel in different parts of the country, I see it everywhere else too. People are really starting to question everything that's fed to them, literally and figuratively, about our food and where it comes from. And you should ask questions. You should be able to verify where things come from, how they were raised, what they were fed, how they were processed. Everything about that. I'm a firm believer in that. You should be able to, you should be able to know the answers to all these questions. And to that end, we basically try to do as best as possible in all of those ways, and to be able to be. We're a fully transparent company.
Taylor, have you taken a breath yet?
Have I?
Taylor's doing great.
No. I've been working for about 3 months straight, man. We just opened a new store, and so it's kind of like having a new baby.
If anything,
I'm so happy that I'm really amped up about it, and the response is even. It's almost like version 2.0 of the fatted cow.
If in spite of what JP just said to insult you, but
it wasn't an insult. I didn't take it as an insult.
Whatever.
Right.
I'm just joking.
I don't know. I tend to get up on a soapbox now and again.
No, it's fine. I do the same thing, but honestly. If anything today, you've gotten Justin to say the word charcuterie correctly.
Well, I have a story about that.
If you really wanted to, you could French up the R's a little bit. Charcuterie.
See, now you just got my
charcuterie.
My ADD. Now that's going to be stuck in my head. Actually, it's my OCD. So, now hang on. Let me get the word out of my head for a second so I can carry on the interview.
I'm sorry.
I have a couple of more questions for you too, because I'm glad that you're excited about this.
Thank you.
And I think that you should be. One comment I have about what you're saying is I think it's interesting that Americans want to know how their cars were built and where they were built, and we want to know about the house and make sure that we know the people that built that, and we're very concerned about all these things. But when it comes to the products we put in our body, well, maybe we don't pay so much attention.
I don't think about it quite so much, but I think that is starting to shift. I'm very encouraged especially by festivals such as this, where we see lots of people coming out who, people here obviously have a good time, but they're people who had a good time and they really care about it. You can really get that. The girl that I'm working with, somebody who just came on with us about a month ago, turned to me about an hour ago and said, what's really cool about things like this is that people really are into it. They're really into not just food tasting good, but they really want to know how it came to be here on the grill in front of us.
And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to know where this stuff?
And you're right. To that degree about cars and houses and everything else, eating is something that people do. Everybody does it.
Sure.
At least twice a day.
And if they don't, they're going to die. I mean, let's just...
Truer words were never spoken.
Yes.
You want to live forever.
Yeah,
Little insight from me.
And it's not the kind of thing that you need to obsess about night and day, but, basically we kind of preach, and especially in terms of charcuterie, this is kind of a self-defeating business prophecy, but eat less of it. But make it count.
Okay.
Just eat it in moderation, make it count, and make sure it's good. Don't just mindlessly put into your mouth whatever comes along.
Sure.
You might want to think about it, and
you might pay for that.
Yeah. You might pay for it down the road, and also if you stop and think about it, there are a lot of quality options out there. If you stop and think about it and don't just blindly go for it, you're going to wind up with tastier products, and you're going to be overall a little bit happier. All
right, I have one more sort of devil's advocate question for you.
These are not devil's. And when you said that, I thought you were going to
really go at you.
I thought you were really going to be clever.
I just try. I think that there's a lot of common questions out there about this thing, and I think a lot of them are defensive questions.
Okay.
And so I try to ask the defensive question. I think people are really defensive about the foods that they eat and the lifestyles that they live. For example, I grew up on fast food.
Okay.
I really grew up on fast food. I'm talking
it shows.
Absolutely. I'm talking a couple meals a day. My insides are about 30 years older than my outsides, which is pretty old because the outsides. So anyway, the point here is
you look great.
Any one of us can leave here today. Thank you. Any one of us can leave here today.
Sully, you want to get a beer and leave these two alone?
And on every third or fourth block that
We're
we
not
drive,
quite there yet.
we can pick up an entire meal for like $3.50. A whole meal. I'm talking a burger with bread around it and a fry and maybe even a salad in a cup that you shake up with some stuff in there.
Well, here's the
every third or fourth block.
That's where the tough question comes in.
$3.50.
Well, it basically the short answer for that is subsidies, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier about there being no such thing as cheap meat. Basically, the raw products that these places are using have been heavily government subsidized. They're if these companies were forced to pay for all the pollution that they cause and everything else, these things would cost about as much as a responsibly raised, certified humane, pasture-raised animal that had been out roaming free like pigs and cows and lambs and chickens are supposed to do.
So the cost is all in there somewhere.
It's all in there somewhere. Yeah. You're paying for it in taxes. You're paying for it in the cost that the government farms out to these people. You're paying for it in
colon cancer. I'm going to go as far as to say.
You're paying for it in colon cancer and health costs. I mean, these things they do have hidden costs. It's not just something that is absorbed at any one given point.
Yeah, but you get a free toy.
You do get
and
a free
that's
toy.
really what it's
Can you
about.
beat that?
Well,
and they're making all their money on
we're not Pixar.
Coca-Cola.
I didn't see any toys at your table.
No, but you know what? You know what you'll get when...
All right. have a pack of knockwurst and a wind-up racer.
We'll give you a smile, and you know what? You'll be able to actually have a much more concrete connection to the people that are making your food and to where it actually came from.
I'll tell you what, JP. When you have kids, if you change your eating habits right now, you'll be able to play with them and their toys. I think that's the.
I don't really want to.
And you know what?
You don't want any part of that.
I'll give you a personal guarantee. I will come and personally be your nanny.
Nice.
I will come and I'll change diapers. And we actually have had in place a program for a while for our farmers market customers. If you come to me and you promise that you will not take your kids to McDonald's, I'll keep your kids in burgers for the next 18 years.
My son doesn't even know what McDonald's is. Well, he's 4.5 years old. He'll be 5 in May.
Yeah.
I never take him
free
there.
burgers.
I love both of you right now.
Absolutely not.
Free grass-fed organic ground beef until the kid is 18. If you promise not to just give it away.
That is the best.
See, I never eat that stuff, so why would you eat it?
I mean, it's all about responsibility and integrity, and I will put my money where my mouth is. This is serious business to me, and we're not messing around.
I respect you, because I think that if people knew the whole thing about eating meat and all that, it would be a special thing. We all just see it as sort of the styrofoam plastic wrap thing, and that's how you get it. But if you knew it was an animal at one time, and it lived and breathed, and it was killed, it was slaughtered,
and if you really stop and think about it, do you really want...
all those things that animals do.
Poops.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
But I think that it's important if you realize that you would go after the better product.
I think most people would if they really had an idea. And these huge companies, they pay a lot of money and they do a lot of marketing to keep people from figuring out the fact that most of those animals were raised in windowless factories.
Yes.
They never had a chance to roam around and to engage in natural behaviors that animals do.
Okay.
You know, and to me, that's deplorable. I think to go out on a limb here, I think there's a special place in hell for people who abuse animals, and I think that...
And I hope that it's like a petting zoo that we can get to go watch.
Absolutely.
But the bottom line is, how do you sleep with the screams of pork in your ears?
Well, yeah, you know, it's this is a line totally bitten from one of our purveyors, Steve McCarthy of the Pray the Ranch Meat Company. But animals, an animal that is raised for human consumption should have one bad day in their life, if that.
The day they get shot in the head.
And they don't even know when it happened.
The day the farmer gets lonely.
That's the bad day in their life.
I didn't mean that.
Hey, good luck.
Yeah.
Wow, that's twisted. Usually, I'm the guy on the evil end of this.
Oh, you haven't met JP. You haven't met him very long.
All right, Taylor, why don't you just, to kind of wrap things up, let's talk about what you guys were serving here today. What are people finding here at the festival?
Well, I'm crazy busy with a million other things, so basically what we did was the most streamlined, easy to knock out kind of thing that I could think of.
You did fast, slow food, didn't you?
Yes, we did. We did the thing that goes best with beer. We basically brought down a bunch of smoked knockwurst and some sauerkraut that I put up about a month ago.
Okay.
We ferment our own sauerkraut. We do lots of other things beyond just meat.
How do you ferment sauerkraut?
It's salt and cabbage and thyme, baby.
You just
That's all you got to do.
Where do you put it? In a fridge?
We got these awesome crocks that a buddy of mine got us, and basically we slice the cabbage, we put it on the slicer, slice it up. We get good organic cabbage from Full Belly Farms and from River Dog. We slice it up, we salt it. We put a certain amount of salt in by weight. Mix it up, let a natural brine. The salt reacts with the water in the cabbage, draws out a brine. We pack it into crocks, and we leave it alone for about a month.
Really?
Yep.
I had no idea that's how sauerkraut.
It's really simple, but it's like with all this other stuff. The difference between the processed supermarket junk and what you can make at home quite easily is just night and day. And once you try it, I mean, it's a real eye-opening kind of thing.
I bet.
So we basically brought hot dogs and sauerkraut, and but we brought the slow food version of hot dogs and sauerkraut, and
it's amazing.
Honestly, I'm starting to feel kind of bad because I left my buddy Jessica outside.
Right. Don't worry about it.
She's grilling up all those hot dogs.
She's fine.
Trial by fire.
Oh, I know she's fine. I wouldn't have brought her if I didn't think she couldn't handle her own. But
well, give us all the information so that the listeners could find out about you guys.
We do farmers markets at the Berkeley Farmers Market and the Ferry Building Farmers Market on Saturday.
Okay.
We also have a storefront that's open 7 days a week in Napa at the Oxbow Public Market. That's at 644 First Street, Suite C. The phone number is 707-256-3684. You can also check us out at fattedcalf.com.
There you go. You guys do shipping?
No, we're way too small.
Yeah. All right.
Way too small.
One quick question.
Yeah.
How did you get involved in this? I mean, we're a brewing network, and it's all about home brewing. And
I used to home brew when I had time.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Actually, a buddy of mine who's standing right over there is one of the finest home brewers I know.
Great. Should bring some by.
But how did you? I
do. I've still got some barley wine sitting in his basement that we've been trying to drink. Yeah.
But how did you get involved in this
charcuterie?
Yes.
Well, basically, I went to culinary school, and that's where I met my wife, and that's who my partner in the business is, Toponia Miller. We basically feel like to become fully well-rounded chefs, I guess, if you will, to sum it up succinctly. You gotta know everything. You gotta know the classics. You gotta know the new stuff. You gotta know breads, pastries, charcuterie, nouveau cuisine, all kinds of stuff. So basically, for me, this is one stop that I'm making on hopefully becoming a very well-rounded cook eventually.
Okay. Right on.
Yeah. So
what is give me the charcuterie definition precisely?
Well, literally, in French, a charcuterie is a place where meat products are prepared and sold, along with a lot of the other goods that go along with charcuterie, like the sauerkraut and things like that. We also sell heirloom beans from Rancho Gordo. We sell Lulu's Garden pickles and preserves. We sell a few books that are written along the lines of our philosophy, like the River Cottage Meat Cookbook cookbook by Hugh Fearnley Whittingstall. We sell, a lot of mushrooms. I mean, and we're just getting started. We've been open for 4 weeks, and so we're really looking to expand the repertoire of everything we do.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, so
fairly.
I mean, it's pretty much. We don't really have one explicit philosophy. Basically, what we're all about is doing things with love, with neighbors, with friends, and and keeping it super high quality and just delicious, and so it's not gonna wreck.
Sounds like a homebrew philosophy to me.
What's your plan for the future? Are you going to kind of like go big, Nyman Ranch, or
no? This one store will pretty much be it.
McDonald's comes knocking. They want a new fatted calf mac.
They can get bent. They can get bent.
All right, good.
And you can quote me on that.
What if McDonald's actually kind of came full circle and decided to sort of get involved in that?
If that did wind up happening, they'd actually be the company to be able to make it happen. If we were to ever get involved with somebody big like that, there would be so many constrictions that we would have to put into the contract on our part that if it didn't make them run screaming, then we might be able to actually implement some real change, which would be
a good
great.
Point. Excellent point.
So,
Taylor, thanks for sitting down with us.
Thanks for having me. Thank you so
much. Good luck to you guys.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Really, that's Fatted Calf,
thanks,
and you can go to fattedcalf.com. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Fattedcalf.com to check it out.
Hey.
And where are you guys out of specifically?
Right now we're in Napa, but we are down here in the Bay Area, the Ferry Building Farmers Market and the Berkeley Farmers Market, both on Saturdays, and you can get all that info on our website.
All right, great.
And feel free to give the store a call. You probably get me on the phone.
Okay.
So we're a company of about 9 people. I'm not just talking here. We actually we're all about walking it, and
good. It's refreshing to see, man. I'm telling you, this is the best part about this festival for me. It's good to see it in action.
Thanks a lot. For me, it's all the good cold beer, and it looks like I'm out, so I'm going to jam. Thanks a lot for having me on, guys.
Taylor, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. All right, we're going to take a quick break here, guys. This is fascinating stuff, and Sully, I'm glad to finally see it in action.
You're never going to eat Big Mac again.
I haven't eaten a Big Mac in like 5 years.
Yeah, right.
I haven't eaten fast food in a long, long time. I'll be back, kids. Hang in there. More from the Slow Food Festival in San Francisco. Slow beer, too.
To the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network. Valley Brewing Company is Stockton's premier microbrewery and family restaurant in the heart of Stockton, California, just off the Miracle Mile. Brewmaster Steve Altamari crafts a full array of award-winning ales and specialty beers, from their Hitman Gold American Pale Ale to their Black Cat Stout, or any one of their monthly specialty brews, like Valley's Uber Hoppy Imperial IPA. And the best part is, you can now purchase kegs of Valley Brew to take with you from their all-new 30-barrel brewery, now open in Stockton. So pick up a keg and get a taste of one of California's oldest brewing traditions. To find out more about Valley Brewing's historic past, their selection of beers, or family-friendly restaurant, visit them online at valleybrew.com. Or stop by and sample the beer at 157 West Adams Street in Stockton, California, where pitchers are just $5 all day on Sundays.
What have you gotten out of a vial of White Labs yeast?
WLP 001, Cal Ale, baby.
23, Burton Ale. 008, East Coast Ale.
Cal Common, WLP 810.
It's gonna be WLP 400 with beer.
I got a sweet hoodie for my vial.
Huh?
White Labs, your source for great brewer's yeast, would like to invite all homebrewers to join the White Labs Customer Club. Redeem your empty vials for great White Labs merchandise and products. Free yeast, glassware, t-shirts, baseball caps, sweatshirts, polo shirts, and you won't believe what you'll get for 5,000 vials. Members also receive a newsletter packed with White Labs updates and facts, interviews with professional brewers, brew your own clone recipes, beercook.com recipes, and customer club stories. The White Labs Customer Club. Save your vials and get in the club. White Labs. It's all in the vial.
Oh, crap! It's the hop shortage! He's in the basement!
Oh, please! My triple decocted Imperial Pilsner!
It's all gone. We'll never brew again.
Damn this hop shortage! Damn it to hell!
Was ist los? Hop-Shortage?
Who are you guys?
Ich bin Doppelbock.
Ich bin Kölsch.
Und ich bin Münchner Helles.
We don't need a lot of hops to be delectable.
Now brew something malty.
Use less hops, brew more beer. Northern Brewer has kits and ingredients for dozens of worldwide beer styles that don't require a lot of hops to make a great pint, like the Cool Blonde Kolsch or the ponderously bottom-heavy Doppelbock. Keep drinking great beer. Order at northernbrewer.com and get flat rate $7.99 shipping anywhere in the contiguous U.S. One beer kit, $7.99 shipping. 1 million beer kits, $7.99 shipping.
Together we can beat this hop shortage.
Now get brewing!
Live. Beer Radio. The Brewing Network.
The Brewcasters.
If you're just starting, don't be discouraged by all this stuff. It's so easy. Just throw it together. Put some sugar and some water and some yeast in there. Yeah. Beer.
The Brewing Network. Saving your life.
One beer at a time.
Welcome back. Live from the Slow Food / Slow Beer Festival here in San Francisco. We're in Golden Gate Park, and it's a beautiful day outside. And we're all hanging inside drinking beer, which is kind of always a good thing when you see that happening.
And eating food.
People could be out exercising, doing things good for their health, and instead we're eating sausages and drinking beer, which is, for me, is a good way to spend a weekend.
That's what we want to do.
Yeah. And we're here with Nat and Christian from a new place here in San Francisco, Monk's Kettle. How long have you guys been open?
Just 2 months.
Okay, and that's Nat and Christian over here next to you. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Just a couple of months.
Yeah.
And I was there a month ago, so you guys had just opened, and I was really offended, actually.
What happened?
Well, I get there, and it's a beautiful bar, and it is done in the tradition of a Belgian bar. The bar is fantastic. The bar itself, beautiful piece of wood. I don't know what mahogany. I don't know what it is. It's gorgeous. Redwood. Okay, and I'm there, and I find out that you have Rodenbach Grand Cru. Mm-hmm. But it's like on deck. It's not
on deck.
And
Just
so
about, yeah.
I was told that we had to finish the what I'm trying to remember what it is we had to finish.
The Douché?
Yes. So something's not easily finished by oneself. So I tried to encourage everybody at the bar to, hello, could we just keep drinking some of this? Because I'm telling you, one of the best beers you've ever had in your life is on deck. It's back. It's waving the bat. And you guys wouldn't put it on. Your bartender, rather, you would not put it on unless that was gone.
But it's coming soon, I promise.
Really? So it's not. You haven't gone through it yet.
Not yet.
See, I thought
We're
for sure
waiting.
I would
We're
have
holding on.
entirely missed the boat.
We're just building up the anticipation.
Can I get on the Rodenbach?
Yeah, what's up with teasing people
list?
about that stuff? Why, you just don't tell us, otherwise we're going to be like...
Because now we show up like every day and have 4 beers.
And that's the idea.
Excellent. But the Monk's Kettle, it really is a Belgian-style beer bar. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it and the idea when you guys started the whole thing?
Well, we wanted to basically offer a bar that has just about every style represented on it. We put together a beer list. We have 24 drafts. About a third of both the draft and the bottle are Belgian, but we wanted to have all the styles represented and basically the best representations that we could get of each style. And then we put together a small but good wine list, and then a fantastic food menu that our head chef Kevin Kroger has put together. So
it is good food too. I ate there also. So.
Yeah, it's interesting because that location that you're at has not been very successful with past bars.
What was it before?
A grease pit.
Really?
Okay.
Essentially.
And honestly, you guys have turned it around. I mean, it's now a successful, apparently thriving business so far.
Yeah. Don't jinx them, Sully.
I'm not. That's why I'm talking like this. No, I mean, honestly, you guys have the write-ups have been great. It's amazing. I told you earlier that you weren't on the top 5 or 10 beer bars in Forbes, but I think you'll be there next year.
In Forbes.
they just announced their top beer bars.
Did they really?
Yeah, but these guys had just opened, and I was like, this place is amazing.
They'll be
It should
there
be
soon.
on that list. So
Yeah.
Give us time.
Well, thank you.
Well, what's your beer background? Are you guys, business guys looking to cash in here? Or are you beer lovers? I got to know. I mean, it's okay to be either one.
Or a little bit of both, actually.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I had been in restaurants. This is Kristen talking. I had been in restaurants for quite a while now. And I looked around San Francisco and saw no one's doing this.
Okay.
No one's really doing the full-on beer and wine
Culture
tavern.
experience.
So what we wanted to do is just a little bit of everything and really have like the full, fleshed-out beer list.
Well, it's interesting because you Monk's Kettle sort of harkens to Belgian beers, but you have other beers there, and Belgian style beers are so popular right now. And you have beers like right next to us, Russian River, and a lot of other breweries around, microbreweries that are brewing beers like that. And to have an area, to have a place that actually sort of promotes that it is surprising that it doesn't happen in San Francisco sooner.
Yeah, well, especially with so many different great microbreweries, not only in the city but just the greater Bay Area. I mean, Russian River is fantastic, obviously, and
Are they really though? Kidding.
Right next door. Do you guys have the 21st Amendment on tap at the Monk's Kettle?
We don't right now.
No.
I heard they suck anyway. What? I mean, I didn't mean that.
Not yet, right, guys?
Exactly.
We talked about this on the pre-show.
Not yet.
Well, you guys are located right there in the Mission, and when I went, I walked, and I felt safe. I didn't feel like I was going to get mugged. I stopped off at the ATM, didn't bother me, took out money. So I just want everyone to know, you guys are in
you're also from Pacheco.
a very nice part of the Mission. Yeah, my part of the East Bay is a lot worse than the Mission can be, that's for sure.
And it's also the Mission in 2008 and not 1998. So
Oh, is that when it was bad?
That helps it out.
That might have been the last time I was in the Mission, Christian. Actually, it was 1990, before I went to Monk's Kettle, actually. So now you guys are there, though, and you've started this. It's been going on for 4 months. 2 months. 2 months even. So tell me what you guys think. I know. I think a lot of places that are exciting, and especially since beer is really popular right now, you get a big rush in the beginning, and it's kind of all the buzz. But do you really are you finding your customers coming back and asking you for new beer or more beer? Or
we are.
Okay.
Yes, definitely. I think that's one of the best things that I've seen is how many regulars, especially from the Mission neighborhood, come back again and again, and they come in, they talk to us by name. Hey, Nat. Hey, Christian, and we can recognize them and pour them their favorite beer, and I think that's the most exciting thing so far.
You guys are young. How old are you guys? What are you, 20s?
I'm 33.
They're 21.
Yeah, 33, and that is...
I just turned 17.
You guys are young, good-looking
You guys have either
boys.
been eating slow food your entire lives, or you're both 17. I'm pretty sure of it. Either way. Sully, on the other hand,
I'm 44 and about to die.
Sully's actually also 17, but he hasn't aged as well as you guys. Well, it's a fantastic bar. Why the food also? I'm kind of curious about that part because you've really gone so far with the different beers. It's a great beer list, not only on tap. How many taps? 24 taps, plus you've got the bottle list.
Yeah, about 100.
And you decided to do food also.
It was kind of looking at the gastropub phenomenon.
Oh, yeah.
You look around most big cities across the USA, and
what is that? Tell us what a
gastropub is. Basically restaurant quality food in a pub or tavern type environment. And
it was like an English phenomenon back in the day.
Yeah.
They kind of started it back there.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be deep fried nachos.
No, yeah. I mean, and that's kind of the goal is to get away from get away from the deep fried nachos. And I'm from Seattle originally, and they have that up there. And Christian over when he was in Boston, they have it out there as well. And you get here, and it was like, well, wait a minute, where is that?
Yeah. That's a good point.
And so, that we wanted to kind of go down that road.
Dave from Magnolia is the first one to introduce me to the gastropub whole kind of theme.
Phraseology.
And his place, I think, his place is certainly a gastropub.
Yeah.
Gastrobrewery, however you'd want to do it. But you're right, there's not a lot of that going on.
No, I mean, when we looked at San Francisco, we looked at Magnolia and the Alembic as basically the two things that most closely resemble what we were going to do.
Okay. So now here at the festival, how do you guys see yourselves as part of the slow food or the slow beer movement? I mean, what is your role in this? Obviously, you're putting out these fantastic beers. You're making some of this food. Tell us how you think you guys fit in.
Kevin's starting to do a lot of our in-house charcuterie, and that's basically what we're serving today, is some house-made sausages that have been done.
Great.
Smoked sausages. So it's been... we're just trying to promote the artisan foods, local produce, all that kind of stuff. So
as much organic, sustainable stuff as possible. We try and get as much as we can, whether it's seafood, whether it's breads and cheeses, whether it's meats. We try and put all that on the menu, and just really work with the local producers as much as possible.
Okay. Did you guys do some Belgium research before you? Did you get to take some trips?
Yeah, what's the story behind that? You guys did a lot of trips to Belgium, didn't you?
I wish.
Yeah. You didn't get to?
No, I have not been there. No.
Really? Neither one of you?
You've never been?
Never been.
You know,
this is the internet. The beauty of the internet. You just download a bunch of pictures.
Just lie.
Yeah. You don't have to go anywhere anymore.
No.
You just stay home, listen to the Brewing Network, and you take you to Belgium.
There you go.
I rarely leave my room, actually.
Hence the young looks. You have no stress. Never had to go through a security line at the airport.
Full cavity search.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, I'm glad to see you guys doing it. It really was a fantastic experience when I went there. So
Thank you.
I'm happy that you guys open up, and I wish you luck. I'm glad that you guys are a part of this here. And I'd recommend going there, especially when you get the Rodenbach on tap. Can I get an estimated delivery date?
I'd say probably within the next week.
Within the next week?
the next probably about a week we'll be putting it on.
We're going.
I think that's fair.
Next weekend we'll stop in.
Let's do it.
And we're raising hell if it's not on tap.
Yes, you will.
Or we're at least drinking a lot of whatever is supposed to be finished. Yeah.
We'll raise hell with you, and we'll just do a kick the keg contest.
Let's
and we'll
do
get
that.
It on.
Let's see who gets injured first.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for sitting down with us, and keep it up. We need more of that in the city. So
cheers.
Thank you.
And all over. Cheers. All right, so we are still live from the Slow Food, Slow Beer Festival here, Sully. How's your beer pouring over there?
You know, it's surprisingly, it's going very well. We're actually, we just came off a Strong Beer Month, and all the beers we're serving today are very light. It's sort of the opposite of strong beer.
Except for...
We've got the big Imperial...
what's it called? Oil can or something?
Called, what is it called? It's
Diesel.
called Diesel, thank you.
Kerosene.
Diesel Imperial Porter. Smoked Porter. And that's probably our biggest one there.
But then you've got Blonde.
We got Blonde. No, we have a Kolsch. We have a Watermelon Wheat, which is the first of the season, actually.
It's your first batch?
We're teasing the whole thing right now.
I like the, locally grown.
And then we have the
fruit
Amendment
in the beer.
Pale Ale, which actually I think we've kind of turned into an English IPA because of the hop crisis that's going on right now.
Okay.
So
had to cut back.
Well, we just decided to mix it up a little bit. We were actually all about kind of American hops in all the beers, and now we're kind of doing we changed things around, the hopping around in the Amendment Pale Ale. So it's more of a little bit of an English accent.
Okay.
So...
All right, I can dig that.
Yeah,
you guys are doing good work over there.
Just trying to, pay the bills and keep the lights on.
All your minions are gone in Belgium, though.
You know what? Everybody's there. It's funny.
Roger's there.
Roger from Drake's is there, and my old assistant brewer of mine, Steve, and his wife, Justine. They're all there. I'm not there. I'm getting text messages from them.
Yeah,
they start coming around.
Rubbing it in.
10 o'clock in the morning, which is about like 8, 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
over
look
there.
how much fun we're having.
Yeah, but I'm not missing it at all.
Jerks.
It's like kind of like this alcohol, tour. You just have to. You keep moving. It's like a death tour of something.
No matter what, you must finish.
And we've talked about on the show many times. I have had pneumonia a couple times.
Every time you leave the country.
Every time.
Malaria.
Yes. And now I'm like, all right, well, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be there. That's fine.
You won't even come to Pacheco anymore.
I'm afraid of Pacheco as well.
I don't blame you.
I have to go to the Monk's Kettle in order to go to Belgium. That's my big thing right now.
That's as close as you get now.
That's what I'm going to do.
All right. Well, that's it for us today. Live from the Slow Beer Festival and Slow Food. We kind of mixed it up together this year. It's the second time they've done it. They're hoping to make it even bigger next year. Sold out 400 tickets this year.
No, I could not believe it. You had like $50 to $60, $75 for a ticket, and we sold the thing out.
And sold it out. And you know what?
And look, John Foster's here from beerschool.com.
With the food and the beer, it was well worth the $55 for a ticket. I got to say that right
unbelievable.
Now. People start to bark about ticket prices, but this is one of those things. It was well worth it.
And people were like really into what was going on. They weren't like it wasn't all about consumption today.
I had 4 sausages. It was all about consumption for me.
Well, for you, because you live on a DJ's budget.
Yeah, the last time I ate was at the last festival.
Yes.
It was like 2 weeks ago. So I had to have 4 sausages to
you
catch
gotta
up.
bulk up.
And I had some of the Monk's Kettle sausage, which is good because after the 4 full-on sausages, they had the bite size.
nice
you put it on bread, little onion underneath.
Very delicious.
What else was there? Some sort of sauce on there too.
Yeah, it was Stonegar mustard and then a red onion and fennel marmalade.
There you go. See, so I was digging on that. It was a good time. All right, until the next time, and I love doing these live events, Sully. Thanks for hanging out with us.
I love being here.
JP, Shat, you guys did a great job today. Appreciate you doing this whole thing. And thank you to Carmen with Slow Food USA. And, of course, Dave McLean, who's just a great guy, one of my favorite guys in beer with Magnolia. Just always a nice
good man.
Dude. Pleasure to work with, and he invited us down here, so we got to thank him for that. And, all right, well, everybody enjoy the day. Keep drinking beer. I've seen a couple have sold out already, so we got to make sure these brewers don't have to carry anything heavy home.
I hate carrying kegs home that are full.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. Cheers.